Mega Heracross has the strongest attack stat out of any Pokemon in Pokemon Champions. However, with its poor defensive typing, isn't so hot in the current format. But how good is it or how bad is it? That is what we are here to try and find out. This is my recreation of a Mega Heracross team that I was seeing online, and I thought it was a pretty interesting concept, and I wanted to make a few small changes, so this is going to be my version of it. However, if you want to check out the original creator, they will be linked in the description down below. But otherwise, let's break down the team. So first Pokemon we have is going to be the Mega Heracross, and Mega Heracross is quite an interesting Pokemon where it has the highest attack stat in the entire Pokedex in Champions. And it is a pretty strong Mega Evolution. Bug Fighting is definitely an interesting offensive type. It's not that great defensively, unfortunately. However, it does have some pretty good coverage. We have the Moxie ability, so if Heracross can get a knockout before it Mega Evolves, it will get a +1 boost. But otherwise, we'll have the ability Skill Link when it does Mega Evolve. And what Skill Link does allow any multi-hit moves to be guaranteed to hit 5 times. So that's actually really important because we do have multi-hit moves. We have Close Combat, we have Rock Blast, we have Bullet Seed, and we have Protect. Close Combat is the strongest fighting type move, and it is able to one-shot the Chople Berry King Gambit, and Rock Blast is really good into Charizard, which is really nice. So the original team did have Pin Missile over Bullet Seed, and it makes sense, right? The same type of attack bonus, you're able to threaten the Farigiraf. I always felt that Pin Missile only is good against Farigiraf and maybe like Gardevoir, but otherwise you're really never clicking it. You're either clicking like some Close Combat or Rock Blast most of the time because the Pin Missile doesn't really hit anything too much for super effective damage. And I felt like Bullet Seed could be actually really nice here because it's able to help against Basky Legion, especially those Sash Basky Legion. You could go for Bullet Seed, Breakthrough Sash. If it's Citrus Berry, you also KO non-bulky Citrus Berry on the Basky Legion. It's a roll on the bulky Citrus Berry Basky Legion. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good tech here, and I did want to try it out and see if it would perform because I feel like Pin Missile, you just don't get any knockouts with it, and Bullet Seed in a close combat would still knock out like Garchomp. Bullet Seed in a Sylveon still better than Pin Missile. I felt like Bullet Seed would be pretty nice here. EV spread wise, it's just simple max speed and max attack. The reason we're going with max speed is because Heracross does actually lose speed when it does Mega Evolve. So you want to actually have it still fast enough to outspeed, of course, the Glamoras, Adamants, Basky Legions, and more with the Jolly max speed. And you do want as much power as you can with the max attack because you are losing it from the having the Adamant nature. So we have max attack, Mega Heracross with the Jolly nature. We'll see if the extra speed does come into play, but I think outspeeding like Glamora as well as a few other things in the format is definitely worth it here because Mega Heracross already has such a high attack stat where the speed is actually pretty impactful. It can outspeed some Charizards as well, which can be very important. So next Pokemon we have is going to be the Focus Sash Glamora, and the reason I really wanted Focus Sash on the Glamora because the original team did actually have the Mega Glamora. It was a dual Mega team, but I always felt you want to bring Glamora and Heracross to the same games because Glamora is able to help out a lot against what Heracross is weak to, which is mainly going to be the super effective fairy type Pokemon like Floette, Sylveon. You want to hit them with the Sludge Bomb, and of course Power Gem for the Charizards mainly. So I felt that in most cases you would always be bringing Glamora, and you generally want Focus Sash on Glamora because there are a lot of things that hit Glamora super effectively. Think of Steel type moves, think of the Garchomp Earthquake. So you don't want Glamora to be super vulnerable in a lot of cases, and having that Focus Sash as an extra measure of safety is pretty nice in a lot of cases. So decided to go with the Focus Sash Glamora. We're going with a pretty standard set: Sludge Bomb, Power Gem, Earth Power, Spiky Shield. Pretty standard set, but it does the job because it's got great coverage against Charizard, against the fairies. Earth Power for that special ground coverage, which is amazing against steel types, of course, like Archalon, King Gambit, Aegislash, and more. And then the EV spread, this is just going to be max speed and max special attack. And I decided to go with max speed timid on the Glamora because sometimes the Charizards do run a bit of speed to outspeed the modest Glims, I've noticed. So just going with the timid Glim because it's not like I really need any specific calcs with Glamora. It's just like, hey, I want to be able to get a fast Sludge Bomb or a fast Power Gem, put them into range of Heracross potentially. That's kind of the idea. And of course, the Timid Power Gem will still KO the Charizard. So that's exactly what I needed for. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Sharp Beak Talonflame. The original set I think was Acrobatics over Dual Wing Beats. However, I felt that having Dual Wing Beats can be nice because of the rise back of Sneasler as well as some Sash Whimsicots out there. I do think that Dual Wing Beats can be nice over having the acrobatics in some cases, especially against like Sash Vivian. So this is why Dual Wing Beat is going to be the move of choice here. But we do have the Sharp Beak to power up the Dual Wing Beat, so we can ideally get the KO into the Whimsicott as well as the Sneasers that are running that Focus Sash or even a bit of bulk if they have it. So the moves here, Dual Wing Beat that hits twice, Flare Blitz for the fire coverage, Tailwind, which is the speed control of this team, and then Quick Guard. Quick Guard's pretty nice with this team because of the fact that against a bunch of priority moves like Encore from Whimsicott, as well as stuff like from Sableye, multiple priority moves like Fake Out, I just feel that Quick Guard is really nice against a lot of things in the meta. So having Quick Guard to be able to prevent being trapped from Encore and allows Heracross to still potentially get more sweeps under Trick Room if they decide, hey, there's a Fake Out stall, and you just Quick Guard to be able to prevent the partner from getting flinched by Fake Out or more is really nice. Gale Wings, of course, gives a priority to Talonflame on its flying type attacks when at full HP, and this Talonflame is just going to go with a simple max attack and max speed, and just trying to dish out as much damage as it possibly can. And of course, we want to go Jolly because we want to outspeed the Sneaslers, even if our Gale Wings is broken. So next Pokemon we have is going to be the Fairy Feather Sylveon, and Fairy Feather Sylveon with the pixelated ability is pretty standard. You're able to transform those normal type moves into fairy type moves with the pixelated ability, as well as increase the power of them, which is pretty nice. Hyper Voice for the spread move, Hyper Beam for the strong nuke, Quick Attack for the priority, Detect to keep itself around. EV Spread on this Sylveon is going to be the ability to outspeed base 120s under Tailwind, and you have a lot of special attack to get to Jump Point with the Modest Nature. The rest is going to go into a mix of HP and defense, and this gives me a pretty likely chance to live the Dire Claw from Jolly Sneasler, as well as like get 3 KO'd by Garchomp Earthquake and more. So it does the job. It's able to take attacks and dish out a lot of damage. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Spell Tag Aegislash, which is a change that I made to this team because the original team did have Focus Sash Aegislash that involved having Wide Guard, but I do like having the Focus Sash on the Glamora, and I felt like Aegislash doesn't really need Focus Sash in a lot of cases. Even if you're playing under Tailwind, I feel like it's fine from experience, so I decided to go with just a standard Spell Tag Aegislash that I do like for that power, because Poltergeist and Shadow Snake hit really hard and are able to do a ton of damage. Iron Head, which is able to help out against hitting the Eternal Floette, the Mega Aerodactyl for a KO, which is nice. And yeah, you could go for Poltergeist plus Shadow Sneak, but sometimes you want that KO immediately with the Iron Head, which is important to me. And then King Shield, of course, to keep the Aegislash from changing into its shield form. EV spread wise, it's simple with max attack. You have a good amount of HP to take attacks in general. And then of course, a bit of speed. This allows you to be able to outspeed like max speed Floette as well as max speed Garchomp under Tailwind, which I think is a good enough benchmark here. Final Pokemon on this team is going to be the Choice Scarf Hisuian Samurott, which is pretty nice because Basculegion can be a little bit annoying if they hold the Choice Scarf item. So having this Samurott, which can have really good coverage to deal with some of the fire types in the format that's not named Charizard Y, but also mainly just able to hit Aegislash, able to hit King Gambit, Pokemon that can be just generally annoying in this format. The only change that I made to the Samurott is going to be having Ceaseless Edge. The original was Night Slash, but I'm sometimes greedy, and Ceaseless Edge, 5 base power less, but you do set up spikes, and sometimes I do lead the Hisuian Samurott. So I like the idea of Ceaseless Edge in some cases, so I do think that Ceaseless Edge can be nice here. Aqua Cutter, of course, for the water move, Sacred Sword, that is a really strong fighting coverage, and then Flip Turn to be able to pivot around, which is nice. Sharpness increases the power of Ceaseless Edge, Aqua Cutter, and Sacred Sword, which is really nice. And then the EV spread is pretty simple with max speed and max attack, and the rest into the defenses. It's able to outspeed the Scarf Basket Legion, so you can go for the Ceaseless Edge first, which is kind of the idea behind this Samurott. So how to use the team? Well, it's a Tailwind offense team. The idea is to get as much damage as possible, try to sweep under Tailwind, and that's kind of the name of the game. However, it's a little bit harder to sweep with Talonflame than it is Whimsicott, especially when you're not running Protect on Talonflame, because the Talonflame is vulnerable to a bunch of priority moves, which could stop it from getting Tailwind up, especially because the Gale Wings could be compromised. So how do you use this team? Well, if you do have the access to just fast Tailwind immediately, there's nothing wrong with playing Talonflame with something like the Heracross or the Glimmora immediately, which can be really nice because we know that Whimsicott plus Glimmora is a really strong lead in this format, but Talonflame plus Glimmora is also pretty strong here because you do have access to a faster Tailwind, but also dual Wing Beat pressure, as well as the fact that Talonflame can put on a bit more offensive pressure with its coverage that it does have access to, can be really solid. So Talonflame can lead for the Tailwind with Heracross or Glimmora if there's no priority Tailwind on the opposing side, or if you're willing to just get as much damage as you can immediately for Pokemon in the back to sweep. You also have other leads that you could go for immediately that can be a bit more defensive and slow down the pacing of the game. You could try to go with like Sylveon plus Glimmora, which I find is a pretty good lead because of the fact that you're able to threaten a lot of Pokemon like the Garchomp, like the Charizard, especially with that Power Gem, the Hyper Voice. You're able to threaten heavy amounts of damage because they generally try to match your Tailwind on the leads, so they often lead their Tailwind setter, and then if that's the case, you just gotta nail whoever the partner is, and then you could try to set up for a mid-game or late-game Tailwind and then try to clean up from there. So I feel that lead is pretty strong in general, as you can also lead like Aegislash and have it on the offense, especially against some of like the Eternal Flowheads, the Mega Aerodactyl teams out there. Scarf Samurott can lead in some situations. Heracross, of course, can lead next to anything that isn't Talonflame and still be in a pretty good spot. But in general, you just want to figure out how do you set up the Tailwind with Talonflame to be able to sweep their team. Do you go for it at the start and think you have enough firepower in the end? Or do you think that it's better in a mid-game or late-game scenario after you've already chipped away your opponent's team, stalled out maybe some of their own Tailwind turns, and then able to clean up afterwards? So that's the main idea here. If you'd like to try out the team and check out the details of my creation as well as the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. But of course, let's get started and play some games. Alright, we have Charizard, Garchomp, Whimsicott, Incineroar, Rotomosh, and Sneasler. Never a fan of dealing with Sneasler, but should be okay here. Dealing with Garchomp's a little bit rough, though. I'm thinking lead-wise, Sylveon to deal with the Garchomp seems pretty good. I like Sylveon plus the Glimmora a lot, because if they lead Garchomp, I do threaten it with the Hyper Voice, which is pretty solid. And then Glim is pretty good into a Charizard lead, a Whimsicott lead, like pretty much anything that they want to lead with that combo. So I think it's pretty good. I think I lead Sylveon plus the Glimmora with Talonflame, Heracross, because I'll try to clean up for, or I'll try to go for endgame cleanup Tailwind, because I think if I lead Tailwind, I probably lose on the spot because they have access to multiple fake out Pokemon, so they could like fake out the Talonflame, the Gale Wings. I'm put in an unfavorable spot. So I think I try to go for a cleanup in the end game, where I either get like T-Spikes up, stall out their Tailwind, kill their Whimsicott, and then go for a Tailwind sweep of my own in the late game. That's kind of the idea here, but we'll see. Dealing with the Charizard will be a bit tough because it depends on the speed stat of the Charizard, but we'll find out. Gonna be Whimsicott, Garchomp. Okay, this is the best lead I could have asked for. This is the best lead I could have asked for, as I do lead Sylveon plus the Glimmora, and I can go for a Sludge Bomb Hyper Voice combination immediately, and that's really good for me because Garchomp's definitely the priority number one. Even if they Moonblast plus Earthquake themselves, that's completely fine. Yeah, I'm gonna go for Sludge Bomb plus a Hyper Voice immediately. I could have Spiky Shield too, but they might read that. They might just go for Tailwind immediately, and if they go for Tailwind, that's fine. So we're gonna see a swap from the Garchomp into the Sneasler. So Sneasler's taking a bunch of damage, which is nice. Yeah. Okay. So this is kind of my vision here, where I'm able to kind of get the tail. I'm hopefully going to be able to get my own Tailwind up and then be put in a great spot. So we will go for Hyper Voice. We know it's Sash Whimsicott, so it's not Sash Sneasler, which is good to know. We do get a Hyper Voice off. Look at that massive damage into the Sneasler. Charizard come in. Charizard coming in is interesting. I don't know why Charizard came in, actually. I guess they're going for close combat Heat Wave. Even if they do that, that's fine. I'm gonna go for Detect plus Spiky Shield. I mean, there's no reason for me not to stall out a turn of Tailwind here. They protect the Charizard. I guess they're going for the... Yeah, they're going for close combat into Glim. I mean, this is still pretty good for me, I'd say. Because again, we're just trying to stall out turns of Tailwind so I can win with Heracross in the end game. Go for Dire Claw into Sylveon. They want to get rid of Sylveon first. Okay, that makes sense. But now I can just go for Hyper Voice plus a Power Gem, and they can't KO both. They can only KO one here. They could go Garchomp for the Charizard slot, but that is still fine because they can only KO this Sylveon at worst. So they go for the Mega Evolution here with Charizard. This is probably close combat Heat Wave into the Glim. Yep. But that means T-Spikes are up, which is huge. Because that's going to really help out against the Garchomp. Alright, the T-Spikes are up. Wider, but that doesn't really matter here because Hyper Voice will KO the Sneasler. They go for Heat Wave. Yep, I'm in a really good spot. Nice. So Glamora goes down, but we are able to get the Hyper Voice off into these Pokemon. Excellent. And now I should have a very likely chance of winning the game. It's not guaranteed, but it's a very, very likely chance. We go out on a Talonflame now and we set up our Tailwind and then we protect Sylveon. The T-Spikes are going to be pretty huge to add up damage to the into the Garchomp. So we're in a pretty favorable spot here. Especially with the poison that will add up over time. We're going to detect this final turn. The Garchomp can't do anything that can set up anything that like prevents the situation thanks to Hyper Voice going through like a potential substitute. We're going to go for Tailwind. And now we're in a pretty good spot because Detect from Sylveon prevents it from going down this turn. We'll get the Tailwind up on their final turn of Tailwind, so we have 3 turns working, and then Heracross next to Sylveon should be in a really good spot. If they miss Rock Slide, I mean, then I do a Wing Beat Hyper Voice, I guess. But yeah, I'm okay with them hitting because I would like to free switch to Heracross now. So nice. Talonflame goes down, and the Charizard gonna go for a Heat Wave. That's fine. Poison damage is starting to add up on the Garchomp. Tailwind peers out for their side. We go in Heracross under the Tailwind turns. And we click Rock Blast into the Charizard. And we click Hyper Beam into the Garchomp. Because I guess it covers for Roselli Berry. So I might as well just go for it. It's a guaranteed KO, which, like, both my moves are guaranteed KOs into the opposing slots. As long as I hit them, of course. But I think it's probably worth the risk here. Alright, let's see. Is this double protect? Are they just going to stall? I think they need some misses or they need some doubles. Okay, we don't miss the Charizard, and that's probably the one I just really need to hit the most. I think everything else was acceptable otherwise. So we get rid of Charizard with the Rock Blast. 2 hits only needed. And then the Garchomp Scarf. Okay. So yeah, I guarantee seal up the win here. Yep, because I can go for Protect. I can go for Bullet Seed, and I'll be good. Whew, okay. Battle gonna be forfeited. Nice. Because I would just Bullet Seed to prevent the Rough Skin and defense drop. And then I would just go for Quick Attack Bullet Seed, and then that would KO as well. Or Close Combat at that point, because they can't protect. Alright, we have Basculegion, Sneasler, Charizard, King Gambit, Whimsicott, and Garchomp. So kind of similar to the last team, but can be a bit complicated. Because they do have a King Gambit as well. And Basculegion's also like not easy, so I might change up the game plan. Is it Talonflame Sylveon angle? Talonflame Sylveon's not bad here. I think Talonflame Sylveon's generally okay. I'm just debating about do I bring Glamora or not, because Glamora is good into the Charizard, but it's like a bit weak to everything else. I think it's just like Talonflame, Sylveon, and I'm thinking maybe Heracross Samurott back because am I that worried about Basculegion? It depends on if it's Scarf or not. If it's not Scarf, I don't need Samurott here. But if it is Scarf, I would like Samurott. Maybe it is just Glim. Glim is safe. I think I'll just bring Glim because it's safer. Alright. Gonna be a bit scary of a game because it really just depends on lead. I'm not sure what exactly they're leading here. That's the problem. I don't know what their lead is. Whimsicott Garchomp. Okay, we're gonna do something similar, I guess, with Talonflame lead. So Talonflame Sylveon's pretty good here. I wish I'd Protect Talonflame now because Protect Talonflame would be really good, but not terrible. I would like to stagger the Tailwind if possible, so I think I go Glim first and I just click Hyper Voice. Because Hyper Voice is pretty good here, and I get the T-Spike up if they click Rock Slide. They do go for Tailwind, which makes sense. This is probably Rock Slide anyway. Yep. Cool. My Sash is broken, but that's still pretty good for me. Oh, I can't afford to flinch, Sylveon. Oh, come on. That's such a bad one here. Oh, if I got the KO on the Garchomp, that's huge. Well, I'm going to try to Hyper Beam the Garchomp and switch out and hope that they go for Earthquake Moonblast into Sylveon. It should miss the KO, I'm pretty sure. So that's what we're going for. But that is such a shame because Hyper Voice into Quick Attack might have KO, but it depends on their spread. They do go for the Moonblast, so I'm assuming this is Earthquake too. I should live, barely. Okay. And if I get rid of the Garchomp, it's easier for Talonflame to come in. Yeah, okay, perfect. Okay, it's Roselli Berry. That's fine. Hyper Beam's still a lot of damage here. Yeah, KO's the Garchomp. Perfect. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. I could have just Hyper Voiced, of course, if I didn't, and I could have got a lot of damage in the Whimsicott, but sure. Like, I could have two-shot the Whimsicott, but granted, this is not as terrible as it could have been, I suppose. Sneasler in. Okay. They're going to absorb the T-Spike, but if it's Charizard back, I guess it didn't matter. It should be Charizard last, I assume. Is this Fake Out Moonblast? Do I go back to Glim? I feel like I go back to Glim and I just sack Sylveon. If they stay in, this is fine too. I don't mind that. I just want the priority Tailwind, which I think is kind of huge here. They go for Fake Out. Nice. So we get T-Spikes. I don't know if it's going to matter, but we'll see. I'm assuming there's Moonblast in the Talon as well. Oh no, they take the K on Sylveon. Okay, that's really good for me because now I get priority dual Wing Beats. That's really huge for me, actually, because now I can go for dual Wing Beat with Talonflame and Sludge Bomb the Whimsicott. And I really love that option that I do have here. So them KOing Sylveon actually put me in a much better spot because now I can go for Sludge Bomb into the Whimsicott and I can go for dual Wing Beat into the Sneasler. Because if Whimsicott wants to get a Tailwind up, they have to go for Protect here. Because otherwise Sludge Bomb KOs the Whimsicott. And if they don't Protect, they don't get Tailwind up, which is fine too. So I get Dual Wing Beat off into the Sneasler, and it will take the knockout. A crit there doesn't matter because 2 Dual Wing Beats would KO the Sneasler, and then now I can Tailwind Power Gem. So nice. Okay, that works. I'll gladly take that. As I go for Moonblast to break my Gale Wings. Yep, that's fine because Sludge Bomb will KO afterwards. So huge. I also got to play around a potential Sash on the Sneasler because of the dual Wing Beats. I do get rid of the Whimsicott, so Whimsicott goes down, and now last mon's probably Charizard, which means I'd guarantee win with Tailwind plus Power Gem. If it's anything else, Heracross should win. I guess if it's Scarf Bask, no, but it's Charizard, yeah, I win. Like if it's Scarf Bask, then it's like, okay, I think I'd still win because the T-Spike are up. I would Power Gem, Tailwind, and then if they take the KO, I still can need a Power Gem Bullet Seed, or I could like just win with Bullet Seed general. So yeah. All right, we have a very fascinating team. We have Hisuian Decidueye, Runerigus, that's a Drampa, Weavile, Emboar, and Sylveon. So there's only one Mega, or 2 Megas, I guess. Drampa and Emboar. We have a Weavile here, which is interesting. Okay, I don't mind this. I'm actually gonna go... I think lead-wise, I'm okay with leading Talonflame plus Heracross. Actually, there's a lot that could go on with this lead. I have a lot of pressure against the Runerigas with Poltergeist, but I actually don't know if that will KO. With Spell Tag, I want to say it does, though. So I could lead Talonflame for Quick Guard if I want. It also has dual Wing Beat pressure, but I could also just lead Aegislash, which is also pretty good here. You know what? I want to lead Heracross Aegislash. And then in the back, it's kind of tough because I don't really need Talonflame for anything. I think Sylveon's pretty good against my opponent's team for Hyper Voice in general. And then Backmon, is it Samurott or Glamora? I think it depends on if Trick Room goes up, but I think I bring a Mom with Spiky Shield just in case because having multiple protects to stall out Trick Room. If it does go up, I'm assuming I'm going to try to get rid of the Trick Room Mon right away, which is going to be Runerigas. But you never know. It could be like the Ghost Berry on the Runerigas, so not guaranteed. Runerigas Weavile is fine. As we lead Heracross plus Aegislash. Alright, we have Bullet Seed, so we are going to go for Bullet Seed, and we're going to go for a Poltergeist. Or should I just Rock Blast a Weavile? I don't know if I want to give them the free switch is the question. Because if they knock off my Aegislash, it could be concerning, but I don't know if they protect Runerigas if they have Protect. I'm just going to Bullet Seed Poltergeist. If it's Ally Switch, this covers for it technically. If it gets Ally Switch still, I actually don't remember if Runerigas gets Ally Switch. Let's see what they go for. Okay, they fake out my Heracross, so ideally this Poltergeist will KO the Runerigas, but we'll see. It's Partial Berry, so Spell Tag, Poltergeist. Yeah, like Aegislash is strong, man. And that Poltergeist is such a powerful move. We get rid of Runerigas, so Trick Room is denied, so we're in a pretty good shape here. We're in really good shape. Alright, who do they bring out next? Because whatever's coming out is not under Tailwind. Does Bullet Seed knock out Weavile? Emboar. I guess I didn't technically bring the best answers to Emboar, but this should still be fine. I'm just going to go for a double protect here. The only way they punish this is with Feint, or they have like a some setup move. Yeah, it should be alright, but I guess it depends. Emboar probably has good bulk. So this could still be a game, I guess. Mold Breaker. As we protect. I also want this guy to Weavile could protect here. Okay, King Shield. What are you going for? Do you have Feint, or did you just go for Knockoff? They did go for Knockoff, which is huge because that means the Weavile's attack is lowered. So I think I just focus down the Emboar slot now. As they go for Blitz into the Heracross. Yeah, I think I just focus down the Emboar. So I'm going to go for Close Combat into the Emboar as well as a Poltergeist. Because we know that Emboar is a fighting fire type. So Rock Blast is neutral. I'd rather just go for Close Combat. They go for Psycho Cut. That doesn't KO. Nowhere near close, especially at -1. But I guess that's a key tech for Sneasler. Although I don't think this team needs it because they have Runerigas. Close Combat. That did so much damage to Emboar. Jeez. If I'm adamant, I might just KO. I actually didn't think it would do that much. I thought I was doing 70 to 80. And I thought it was like 80 on a max roll. Poltergeist KOs the Emboar. Beautiful. And now it's down to the final mon. And yeah, that's gonna be a forfeit. We take it. So, Aegislash strong and Heracross strong. Who would have thought? The highest attack stats of the game. All right, this is a weird one. We have Sneasler, Eternal Floet, Sinistra, Aerodactyl, Garchomp, and Ditto. The Ditto is what's throwing me off here. Okay. Is it 3 potential Megas? Aegislash is really good here, though. They don't have many good answers to Aegislash, so Aegislash is definitely being brought here. I don't know if I'm bringing Talonflame immediately as a lead, or Aegislash plus Glamora is a pretty good lead. They don't have good answers to. Well, I guess there is the Garchomp, so maybe it's the Aegislash plus Sylveon immediately, which I think is pretty good against the team. Do I bring my Heracross? Maybe. Glimmora is good, but I don't think it's necessary. Because the biggest threat to me is the Garchomp. I think Talonflame Heracross could probably win the game on its own afterward. Yeah, I think I'll go with this. Let's see what my opponent does, but I think this is probably one of my more effective tools. I just don't really love Glimmora is good, but Aegislash kind of does the same thing anyway to most of the team. And I'm just too worried about the Garchomp, so I just want a backup answer. They lead Sneasler Aerodactyl, so Aegislash is in a really good position, theoretically. There could be like techs that they have that could screw me over, but we'll see. I think I'm just going to go for an Iron Head immediately and a Detect with Sylveon. They retreat Aerodactyl, so something's coming in. Is this Aegislash? Or I was about to say, there's no way you go on a Ditto. Okay, Garchomp. That makes sense. I kind of wish I Poltergeisted the Sneasler now, but this is still okay. They Dire Claw immediately. Cool. Are you going to protect Earthquake the next turn? No, you're probably going to... I don't know if you're stomping. I get good damage into Garchomp. You should never click Rock Slide here, right? I guess like Heracross's time to shine here is fine because I don't need Heracross to win this game, so I can risk Heracross here. I think Talonflame's a bit more valuable. So we bring out the Heracross. They just protect EQ. Okay, I could have went Talonflame. Talonflame would have put me in an amazing spot, but this is still pretty acceptable. Especially because I don't take too much damage from Earthquake, and then I can Poltergeist. So this is fine, I suppose. And also, like, if they have Stomping Tantrum too, I guess this is technically better. Because I don't give them a double power Stomping. Right? Heracross takes a decent amount. We should be good, though. They might go into Aerodactyl and click Protect, which is fine. They might also Earthquake as well, which is cool by me. I'm just going to go for my Poltergeist into the Sneasler slot, and I'm going to go for a Bullet Seed into the Garchomp. Alright, no switches. If they close combat my Heracross, I guess that's a good play on their part, but then that means they give me the Garchomp because I don't think close combat Dragon Claw knocks out the Heracross. They go for Dire Claw, that's cool. Para is annoying. Okay, they Dragon Clawed. Okay, that's fine. I did not mind that. As I get a Poltergeist off, and then I'm kind of curious what their last Pokemon is. Poltergeist into the White Herb Sneasler, which takes the knockout. Okay. Yeah, I didn't need Heracross too much in this matchup, so that's acceptable. Am I bringing Talonflame out, or am I bringing the Sylveon out? Because Rock Slide Earthquake is threatening. I think I go Talonflame first because I can Tailwind into Poltergeist. Or if they bring out Float, this works out better for me. Okay, I 100% accept that. I'm going to Poltergeist the Garchomp and Tailwind, I think. I am faster than Garchomp. This could get still a bit spooky, I suppose. If the Float attacks here. Let's see. The Float Mega Evolves, but so it's not Mega Aerodactyl, or it can't Mega Evolve now. Ah, this is still dicey, but I think we should be okay. I think I should have Iron Headed the Float, but I was so worried about Protect Earthquake. But I already revealed King Shield, so I didn't think it was likely that they would go for it. Okay, Poltergeist. Alright, Citrus Berry Chomp, so I get rid of the Chomp. Did they Moonblast a Talonflame, or did they Calm Mind? Both work here in my favor. Okay, that's good for me. Okay. Ironhead KOs the Float. Still not an easy game per se, but it's definitely doable. I wish I iron-headed. If I iron-headed, the game was probably secured here. I could go There's not like a super safe play here, unfortunately. I do need to break the Sash on Aerodactyl. I don't think I need any damage in the Floette at this point. They're going to get a Tailwind up, which is the concerning part. And then I'm going to have to fight the Rock Slide Flinch, but there's like nothing I can do about that. I think I just break the Sash on the Aerodactyl with Dual Wing Beat and King Shield. Like, I need Aegislash to absorb the attack, so I can't risk Moonblast doing too much. If they Calm Mind again, good play on their part. Like, Tailwind Calm Mind would be a really good play on their part. But they go for Protect, which is actually, if I doubled Arrow, it would have been good, but this is actually still pretty good for me because I get the Dual Wing Beat off in the Arrow. Okay. Tailwind? Yeah. What gives me the highest odds of winning the game here? Well, unfortunately, I know Moonblast plus Rock Slide's not KOing Aegislash. There's no way to play around that. Do I? I'm trying to think if there's like a single guaranteed way. I think Shadow Sneak Dual Wing Beat could KO the Aerodactyl, so I think I go for an Iron Head into the Floette slot and I go out into Sylveon. And keep the Talonflame around. Because if I get the Iron Head off into the Floette, which just protected, I think it's 100% worth. So let's bring out Sylveon. They go for Rock Slide. And Dazzling Gleam over Moonblast, interesting. Aegislash tanks. Okay. Okay, that should be set. Because I KO Floette and then it's GG after that. Because now I should have enough priority moves to seal this game up 100%. And they're going to forfeit. So a little bit unstable at the end. I could have Iron Head to Floette and made it easier. Even if I traded my Aegislash. But of course if they protect the Earthquake. However, it's just a read at that point. And I think it was more likely they attack there. So it makes sense. Alright, we have Sand with Aegislash, Excadrill, Corviknight, Tyranitar, Hydreigon, and Rotomosh. Looks pretty similar to the Joe Sand team, except it has Aegislash over the Mimikyu, which makes it a bit harder, I suppose. Sand against Heracross is definitely interesting. I do not have a way to break through Corviknight. My Corviknight answers are a bit lacking here, which is kind of unfortunate, actually. I do like Samurott, though, in general against this team. I think Samurott is pretty good. How do I break the Corviknight? I guess Glamora, Talonflame, the combination of it should be good, but yeah, this could get a bit dicey. The thing is, do I think they're leading Sand into a Heracross? I don't know. I think I'm okay with leading Samurott and having disadvantage speed-wise with Samurott, Heracross, Glamora, Talonflame back. I think that's probably the best that I can do because I need as much damage into Corviknight as possible. Sure, close combat does a lot, but it's not like... It depends on what they lead, whether Glim is useful or not, but like Glim is probably the hardest I can hit the Corviknight if it gets one bulk up off. Okay, Rotom Corviknight. Interesting. Can I KO the Corviknight here? How bulky is Corviknight? If Ceaseless Edge into close combat KOs, it's an amazing spot for me, and it might be worth going for. If I don't get it, I'm in such a terrible spot, though. I think I'm going to go for Ceaseless Edge plus close combat. This is the highest attack stat in the game, which is the Heracross. So let's see. Also, I assume it's bulk up Corviknight, so it's probably like not generally invested into physical defense mainly. So hopefully we can get a KO here. Ceaseless Edge connects, which is huge. I think close combat KOs. There's no way it shouldn't. Nice. Okay, goodbye Corviknight. That was the biggest answer. I could sack like Glamora now because I don't need Glamora here. I just need to get a Corviknight. I also get rid of Sash on Excadrill, which is huge. They go for T-Bolt. Okay, that's perfect. I do not mind that at all. At all. I'm curious what their back is, but we have a really good spot now. I'm going to go on a Talonflame. Let's see who they bring out next. Excadrill. Okay. My best play here is to click Tailwind and click Bullet Seed into the Rotom. Yeah. Oh, they protected Excadrill. No way. I didn't think they would, but that actually works out. I thought they were going to go maybe Tyranitar here and click Rock Slide, but this works out huge because I get rid of the Rotom with Bullet Seed. This is why Bullet Seed is great, man. So Bullet Seed, even through Citrus. Oh, that's a crit. I was about to say that did a lot. Did I need to crit to KO? Let's see. Oh, I might not KO. Oh, no, I KO. I did need to crit. But here's the thing. What was Rotom doing? Is either Wisping or Thunderbolting. If they KO Talonflame, it's actually a really good spot for me because I go Glamora, I click Earth Power into Excadrill, I click Bullet Seed again. They just have no answer. And then, yeah, like, if they go for Heracross, Heracross is still around. I Flare Blitz the Excadrill slot and I Bullet Seed again. Like, they still have no counterplay to it, so I'll take it. All right, we have a Kangaskhan, a Blastoise, Farigiraf, Torkoal, Vivian, and Basculegion. Okay, this is the team that's Scarf Vivian with Shell Smash Blastoise. Okay, I actually like this matchup, I think, because Talonflame plus Heracross should be pretty good into this team in general. And then in the back, I'm going with... There's only like a few things I'm a bit worried about, and it depends on the Vivian and the Farigiraf combo. But I think I'm okay. I think I still bring Aegislash and Sylveon in case I have to play around Trick Room. Actually, do I bring Aegislash? Aegislash is good against Kangaskhan, but it's like kind of meh to everything else. Maybe I should... Unless I don't bring Sylveon and decide to bring Glamora instead, which could be realistic here. Trying to think of the back. I know Talonflame Heracross is going to lead because I have Quick Guard and some ideas in mind for the Vivian. The question is this the right option? I think it is. Let's try it out. I just don't know if the last mon should have been Glim or it should have been Sylveon. I think Aegislash is just nice in general because good into Farigiraf switching in, which is really solid here. Vivian Blastoise, okay. So if I remember right, this is not Fake Out Blastoise, it's Shell Smash. The idea thing here is I KO the Vivian with dual Wing Beat and I go for a Bullet Seed. Now, my only concern is they could go out into the Farigiraf, and if they go Farigiraf, that's kind of concerning turn one. But I could also Tailwind Bullet Seed, so I don't know if they have a super safe line regardless. I'm hoping that they give me the dual Wing Beat Bullet Seed combo off, but we'll see. Okay, they retreat Vivian, which makes sense. Is this Farigiraf? Okay, that's fine. Because if I KO the Blastoise, that's such a huge spot for me regardless. All right, let's see. Moment of truth. Blastoise Mega Balls, but I think the Blastoise is Blastoise faster than Heracross? I guess we'll find out. I think my Heracross is like barely faster if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong. Dual Wing Beat gonna fail into the Giraffe, and then we get a Bullet Seed off into... Okay, nice, we're faster. So Bullet Seed will KO the Blastoise, it looks like. Yep, beautiful. Bullet Seed is so nice on Heracross. Takes a knockout into the Blastoise, which is massive. And then what is going to be coming out? Because if it's Vivian, I could go for Tailwind plus Rock Blast to KO it, which is nice. They're going to forfeit immediately. They're going to forfeit immediately. Nice. If they did Hurricane plus Swap, I would have been pretty bad, but it's a guessing game. All right, we have... Okay, this is the Hirofumi team, if I'm not mistaken. Incineroar, Gardevoir, Basculegion, Pelipper, Archaludon, and Mousehold. Super scary team. Okay, what do I want to go against this? Yeah, this is super scary because dealing with guard, mouse, and or Chaldon combos is never an easy position. I think it's probably Sylveon lead because they don't have a good fairy switch in. I think Sylveon leads. The question is with what? Is it with Glim? It might be with Glim. Aegislash is good with Shadow Sneak pressure, but I don't think it's kind of bad into everything else. It's good in a Gardevoir though with Shadow Sneak. Am I leading Glim? I feel like the pressure that Glim has immediately with Earth Power and Sludge Bomb is insane. I want Scarf Samurott back because I don't think we're playing under Trick Room here. I think Samurott Heracross. I don't think they're going to try to get Trick Room up with this. I think they're going to just try to set up for like an endgame Basque Rain setup. I think they're probably going to lead like Mouse Gardevoir again, but we'll see. It's a bit of a guessing game, but we'll figure it out. Gardevoir Mousehold, yep, that's to be expected. That's a pretty safe lead against me. As I lead Glim Sylveon, I can click Sludge Bomb Hyper Voice now and do a ton of damage. They trace Pixelate, which doesn't matter. But yeah, we're going to go for Hyper Voice and we're going to go for Sludge Bomb into the Gardevoir immediately. They could go in our Chaldon, but they take a Hyper Voice, so that's still a pretty good amount of damage that I do here. So yeah, I don't think this is too bad. I like getting the immediate damage off with Sludge Bomb plus Hyper Voice, and if they don't follow me with Mouse Hold, they take a ton of damage to Gardevoir, and I mean a ton of damage. If they Trick Room, Sylveon's looking like in a commanding position under Trick Room, and I could have Aegislash still in the back lurking, so they gotta be really scared here of setting up a Trick Room. Okay. They do Mega Evolve Gardevoir. I'm assuming they're either going to go for Super Fang Hyper Voice or they're going to click Follow Me plus Psychic or Hyper Voice, which both are fine here, I suppose. Follow Me, yep. So I should get rid of the Mouse Hold this turn with Sludge Bomb Hyper Voice. Good damage. They Psy Shock immediately, which is actually better for me that Sylveon doesn't take damage because the 1 HP on Glimmora shouldn't matter because I would go down to any attack regardless, but yeah, this works. Okay. As we get a Hyper Voice off. Good damage into Gardevoir. That should be Sludge Bomb range and Mouse Hold goes down. Excellent. Alright, good start, but it's about how you finish. Our Chaldon coming in. That's fine. So it's not Pelipper and Basque Legion. They can only have one of the two as their back. I think I'm just going to Sludge Bomb the Gardevoir. Do I Sludge Bomb the Gardevoir? I could Spiky Shield too. Spiky Shield's not a bad play here. Because unless they Flash Cannon Hyper Voice to Sylveon, but I think that's so unlikely. I'm just going to Spiky Shield to scout for the Gardevoir Protect and get a Hyper Voice off for damage. I think they protect Flash Cannon to Glim. Okay, no, they Hyper Voice. Okay, that's fine. Even if I lose Sylveon, it's not too bad. I get Heracross in, and then I can probably close combat plus Sludge Bomb. Yeah, I got to play wrong, but this is still fine for me. Oh, wait, hold on. Sylveon lived, which is actually kind of concerning. I mean, go Sylveon, but I don't know if I want that. I guess it's fine still, but probably would have preferred going down there. I mean, I can just go for Hyper Beam now and Sludge Bomb. I did outspeed the Gardevoir, right? I'm like pretty sure the Gardevoir does not outspeed the Glimmora. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Okay, they go for Protect, so they're going to go for the KO into Glim now, or they're going to go for the KO into Sylveon. Either way, it's fine because I can go for Sludge Bombs and then get a free switch. They go for Flash Cannon, yep. That's fine. I get a free hit off with Hyper Beam. Perfect. KO's Archaludon, and now Samurott. Samurott, buddy. You just gotta hit one attack. Oh, it's Pelipper. Wait. That makes my life so much easier. I mean, I think it comes down to do they get a double protect. That's basically what this game comes down to, is do they get a double protect. I just lock into Aqua Cutter here. There's no reason to lock into Ceaseless Edge in this position. Because if they get a Tailwind up with Pelipper, I probably lose. But I mean, I can't deny the Tailwind in this position. They didn't go for the Double Protect though. But I guess they were probably like, okay, what's the speed of the Samurott? And also maybe Sucker Punch mind games. But we take that. They go for Hurricane into the Sylveon. Okay, I should be good here. Unless it's Scarf Pelipper on this team, but I don't think they run Scarf Pelipper. I outspeed every Pelipper with... I outspeed everything that isn't Scarf Pelipper with my Heracross. So I think Rock Blast would have done it, but... Okay, we take it. We take it. Alright, we have Aerodactyl, Sylveon, Garchomp, Farigiraf, Basculegion, and Charizard. So this is the Farigiraf version of this build, which is... scary. Don't get me wrong, this is going to be a scary one here. What am I leading? Daily Charizard Garchomp. I'm gonna be... Well, here's the thing. I could lead Heracross plus Talonflame immediately. I guess they don't have priority Tailwind, so I guess it makes it easier. Normally, the Wind makes it more difficult, but I don't think they're bringing the Farigiraf against my team. I think Heracross plus Talonflame should be alright, and then in the back, I bring Sylveon Glimora. I think this is acceptable. The only thing is the Sylveon can be scary because if they lead Sylveon, it is going to be tough, but I don't think you're leading Sylveon into Talonflame Glim potential combo. So I should be safe there, but we'll find out, I guess. If they lead it, it's going to be difficult. Like the most difficult lead for me, I think by far is Aerodactyl Sylveon, but the rest is completely fine. I guess Charizard lead could be scary depending on how fast the Charizard is, and then the Aerodactyl with mind games is also like kind of concerning. We'll figure it out as we go. But I don't think you're leading Aerodactyl Charizard into Glim either. That's the thing. I feel like a lot of Aerodactyl leads, I feel you have to lead the Garchomp, and if you lead Garchomp, that's fine. Then I have Heracross in position, which is pretty good against like whatever next to Garchomp. So let's see what they decide to go with as the lead of choice. It is going to be Garchomp Farigiraf. They actually brought Farigiraf, which I'm shocked by, actually. Okay. I don't have Pin Missile. If I had Pin Missile, I'd just blow up the Farigiraf here. But I guess they hard red Talon Glim, and this is their counterplay to it, which I think is fair. Maybe Sylveon was a better lead. I could KO the Farigiraf, but I don't get speed control up, which is really bad. I think maybe I accept Trick Room going up, and I go out into Sylveon immediately, and I just go for a Rock Blast into the Farigiraf. I don't want to reveal Bullet Seed, because it keeps them guessing on the move here. But let's see. Sylveon in. Oh, this is the one time where Pin Missile would be really good against the Farigiraf version of this team, but we'll see what they decide to click here. Rock Tomb, okay. That's good for me, because Sylveon's slower. That probably, did they trigger him? Rock Blast. Farigiraf was taking that really well. That's really physically defensive Farigiraf, okay. Psychic immediately. Okay, so they didn't get Trick Room up, which is good. Heracross took a lot of damage, but that's acceptable. I just Hyper Voice, right? I would like Heracross because Heracross is like one of my answers to Basculegion back. I think I just protect Hyper Voice and get as much damage as possible. This isn't Protect Earthquake. This is probably Dragon Claw, or this is something else. Maybe I should have hard swapped the Heracross, actually. Go out into my Glimora so I could get the T-Spike up. Because if it's Sash Bask, which it probably is on this team, that would be really helpful here. Oh, Garchomp protects. Are they going to go for Psychic here? That makes sense too. I could have doubled up the Farig, but that's fine. Oh wait, no, I'm slow with Sylveon right now. Okay, they double protect the Scout from my protect. That makes sense. I don't need Glimora to win the game, so I think I'm gonna toss Glimora and just go for a Hyper Voice and get as much damage as I possibly can. Because Heracross still has value to beat the Basket Legion, because I might live in Aqua Jet. So we're going to toss Glim and get a potential T-Spike up. And get a Hyper Voice for as much damage as we possibly can into these mons. They go for Dragon Claw, perfect. Since I get the T-Spike up. This might be Psychic double up, but that's fine. They target the Sylveon, okay. I should be out of Earthquake range, which is good. I go for the Hyper Voice. Good damage. Citrus on the Farigiraf. I wonder how fast the Garchomp is, because if the Garchomp's slow, I can go for Hyper Voice plus Earth Power. Do I have to bang on that? I'm thinking if I protect... I can't protect Sylveon here. Actually... I do have a play here, which involves just switching on a Talonflame and clicking Spiky Shield. Actually, that works here. Because I get to keep Sylveon around, which is useful against the Basque. I get to... Unless they Rock Tomb to Sylveon, which I don't think you do. Are you clicking Protect Earthquake, or are you switching out here? This Talonflame should be in a good spot to get Tailwind up. They Earthquake their own Giraffe. Okay, that's really ideal here. Does that KO? Yeah. Nice. Okay, so Farigiraf goes down. I'm surprised they didn't protect EQ, but that's 100% worth it to me. Now I have Tailwind plus Glim out, which is massive. Is this Basque? If it's Basque, it has to come in and take the T-Spike, which is massive. If it's Charizard, I click Power Gem into that slot, so I'm very curious on the Charizard being brought in. I always Tailwind here. The question is, what am I doing with Glim? I think I just Power Gemmed the... I think I Power Gemmed the Garchomp. The Protect is so obvious. Yeah, but if they EQ... Actually, if they EQ, it's fine, right? I get... No, if they EQ, it's fine. If they EQ my Glim, I get a free switch to Heracross and I click Rock Blast plus Dual Wing Beat. Yeah, no, that's 100%. That's 100% correct to target Charizard, even if the Protect is obvious. Because then I'm in a nice position afterward. Yeah, I get the Tailwind up. They didn't protect, so I get a Power Gem off into the Charizard, which is beautiful, which means I should KO the Charizard. And now it's down to Heracross plus Garchomp endgame, and I should be set. They even set up the Sun for me, so thank you for setting up the Sun. Your Aqua Jet's going to be weaker against my Heracross. I 100% live. Rock Tomb. Gonna take the knockout into Talonflame, but now I get a free swap into the Heracross, and Heracross with Bullet Seed is looking really nice in this endgame to clean up. And they're going to forfeit. Oh, man, that was a tough one. We were struggling against Garchomp Farigiraf, but you know what? Positioned it well and found a way to get Talonflame in. All right, we have Aerodactyl, Whimsicott, Sylveon, King Gambit, Charizard, and Garchomp. Going to be a tougher match because they have both Priority Tailwind and Aerodactyl. Both Pokemon are pretty difficult to handle. What do I want to go in this? Sylveon lead is good. Sylveon Glim seems pretty solid to me overall. Yeah, I like Sylveon Glim with Heracross Talonflame back, because I do like Heracross in general. If I'm able to get Tailwind positioned properly, it should be really good against this build. And I'm just debating about a few things here. Samurott isn't good against this team. Aegislash is decent against this team, but it's not my preferred bring here. It's only good into the Sylveon, the Aerodactyl, and the Whimsicott, but if I get chip damage across those Pokemon, I should be fine. The biggest problem is going to be the Aerodactyl, I think. Aerodactyl is always the biggest problem because of fast Rock Slide potential, and it has Rock Slide Dual Wing Beat for my endgame. So ideally, I get rid of the Aerodactyl quickly. We'll find out if we can, though. It's going to be a bit tricky. Whimsicott King Gambit lead. Okay. Not what I expected. This was... Oh, were they dealing with the Talonflame lead? Okay. Do they run Sash on the Whimsicott, or do they not? I actually have no clue. I feel like I just go on a Talonflame though and I click Earth Power into the Gambit. I have no idea if this is... Because I think this is my best line angle. Because they might Iron Head to Sylveon, which is fine. I'm going to go out into Talonflame. Okay, we get an Earth Power off. Also, they're slow Wims because I outsped them with Glim. Okay. They went for Iron Head. Yep, into the Talonflame slot. Trick Room. Oh, okay. Okay. Trick Room Wims. That means they probably brought Sylveon Charizard back. This might be okay for me, but it depends on how fast their Mons are. Yeah, it depends on how fast their Mons are. I think they're gonna get rid of my wit. Are they gonna target the Glamour or are they gonna target the Talonflame? I was not expecting Trick Room Wims coming out. I think I'm gonna Flare with Spiky here. This is tough. I need to get the target right. They switch out the Wims into Charizard. I feel like you target the Glim, right? Or are you targeting Talonflame? Okay, they did target the Glim. Okay, that's good for me. Because I do get a Flare Blitz. Akaberry King Gambit, sure. So King Gambit goes down. Who's in the back? I did get the target right. I think I'm in a good spot. It just depends on who comes out next. Is it Wims again or is it Garchomp? Okay. How slow are these Mons? That's the big question. Well, they're clicking Earthquake Heat Wave, right? This has to be Earthquake Heat Wave, I'm pretty sure. It depends on how slow the Garchomp is here on this team, but I don't really have a counterplay. I think I'd just go for Power Gem, do a Wing Beat. Okay, Mega Balls the Zard. I was really hoping they would go Whim and I could go for the Quick Guard here and block an Encore, but it might be slow on both. Heat Wave, wait, dodge? That's such a nice dodge. You know what? We'll take it. We'll take it. Talonflame goes down. Beautiful. And Earthquake. And that's the risk of running Zard Y with Heat Wave. Stomping Tantrum, okay. Yeah, I had no switch, so I couldn't really switch in. Now the game's looking really good. Yeah, it's looking really good. We get a Power Gem off into Charizard, take the knockout. Yeah, we take those dodges. You know what? I'm just going to say that. We take those dodges because I didn't really have the best ways to play around Trick Room on this. Because, like, if I brought Aegislash, sure. I got targets right, and even then, like, there wasn't much I could do. I go Sylveon here, and I draw off a Hyper Beam, and I draw off a Sludge Bomb. Yeah, I think I Hyper Beam. I want the KO into the Garchomp. So we go for Hyper Beam and we go for Sludge Bomb into the Whimsicott. Kind of curious on how fast the Whimsicott is if it's Trick Room. So they bluff the Prankster Tailwind and then just have reverse Trick Room. Interesting mode that they have here. But yeah, we just go for Hyper Beam into the Garchomp, hopefully knock it out, and then Sludge Bomb takes the KO into Wims. I guess if it's Roselli Berry Garchomp, it could be a bit of a different story, but we'll see. Hyper Beam. KOs the Garchomp, so Garchomp goes down, and then Wims can outwin on its own against 3 Pokemon. Even if they Moonblast the Glamour here, that's fine. Okay, they are slow Wims, not surprising, but they Moonblast Sylveon, and then I get Sludge Bomb off into the Whimsicott. So we do take the win. You know what? Sometimes you gotta get lucky if you have a bad position, and that is the case here. Trick Room Whimsicott was not in my card reader, but you know what? They had Charizard, they had to hit Heat Waves, they did not. So we will take that victory and keep the win streak. The win streak is blessed still. All right, we have our Chowdon, Pelipper, the Sableye, Venusaur, Basculegion, and King Gambit. This is a team that we have featured on the channel before, actually. Got top 8 at the Grand Challenge Festival, or Grand Champions Festival. And it also won the Twitch Rivals event. How do I want to perform against this team? I have Quick Guard, which is nice because there should be Encore disabled, no screens on the Sableye. I think my combo here is just lead Heracross Talonflame. Like, it's actually pretty good against this team in general. And then in the back, I want Samurott for the Basculegion and the Glamora as the last, because it's like pretty good offensively. Yeah, I like that. I think this is the best 4 that I can bring here. I have a lot of pressure that I can do with offense with my Samurott against the Basculegion in the end game, and then Quick Guard just prevents Sableye from being able to like Will-O-Wisp or anything. So Sableye Venusaur, okay, that's fine. Against Talonflame Heracross. Yeah, I'm just going to protect my Heracross, and I'm just going to go for a dual Wing Beat into the... Actually, do I? They could switch out the Venusaur into our Chaladon. It might be better for me to target the Sableye here. It also might be better for me to switch out Heracross and go for Glamora, actually. I think it might be that, yeah. I'm going to dual Wing Beat the Sableye and Heart Swap here. Because Venusaur is threatened by flying coverage. It's not even that great offensively in this point. So our Chaudon could come in. Okay, they just attacked. That's fine. It's not ideal, but it's fine, I suppose. I would have preferred getting a dual Wing Beat off. Will-O-Wisp? Oh, they protect. That's fine. Yeah, that's actually good for me. All right. Wait, they have an attack. Oh, no, wait, no. We're just faster with Gale Wings. Okay, dual Wing Beat into Sableye. Get some good damage. It is Wisping the Glamora. So I lose my Sash, but I didn't really need Glim in this matchup, so that's fine. I'm going to go for dual Wing Beat, and I'm going to go for Sludge Bomb into the Venusaur, I think. Do I need to? I could also just double up the Sableye if I want to. There's a lot that could go on depending on the situation. I'm debating about what the best play is here because Arch could come in for either slot realistically. And Arch is an annoying Pokemon to deal with. So you know what? I'm going to Sludge Bomb dual Wing Beat the Venusaur. It's like a call between who they switch out. Okay, they didn't switch out either, so I'm surprised, but I should get a knockout into the Venusaur. Actually, Sludge Bomb's gonna be close. I think I'm barely missing the knockout, but that's okay. They go for Disable to get rid of my dual Wing Beat, sure. But I am completely okay with that. Here comes a Sludge Bomb. It does KO the Venusaur with the help of a crit. I think it probably mattered, although maybe not. Unless, if it's the bulky Venusaur, I feel like it did. But if they change the spread to be fast and it doesn't, well, we definitely take that. Our Chaudon going to come in, which is nice. All right, we're in really, really good shape. I want to make sure I don't mess up this end game. I think we Power Gem the Sableye and we go for a Tailwind. Okay, they protect the Arch, so I think they're trying to do some Encore disable shenanigans. Maybe I should have Quick Guarded, but this is still fine. I do get the Tailwind up. They did Encore my Glamora into Sludge Bomb. That makes sense. Ideally, we hit the Sableye again, but we'll see. Okay, we do hit the Sableye. We get the dual wing. We get the Sludge Bomb for some pretty good damage. Okay. Although this is still kind of awkward depending on what they click here. But I think they're going to probably Encore the Talonflame. It could be a call. I think I'm going to go Heracross still. I think Heracross is still the best call because they probably go for the Electro Shot here. Or, yeah, they Encore my Talonflame and Encore. That's what I thought because I don't threaten the Arch. I thought they were going to Rain Dance Electro Shot, though. I thought Rain Dance Electro Shot was like a good KO there because like I wasn't doing much damage, but we definitely take that. And they go for Flash Cannon and Glim. This is perfect. I get a free switch into my Samurott. And I should be good. Or I could go Talon. Talon works too. I think I go Talonflame. Is there... I think it is Talonflame. And I click Dual Wing Beat Bullet Seed into the Basculegion. Oh, it's King Gambit. Okay. The Gambit doesn't have Protect if I remember correctly. So I can win with Sacred Sword endgame. I think we just Flare Blitz close combat then if that's the case. I'm pretty sure the Gambit didn't have Protect. I'm pretty sure it was Iron Head Low Kick Double Dark. Maybe this wasn't the right play because if they Sucker Punch Heracross plus Dragon Pulse it, I think I live because it's Bold Archaludon. It's like kind of a call because I could close combat Archaludon too, and that's kind of threatening to them as well. So I don't know. Also, Heracross has good bulk. Even with the -1 defenses, I might live the attacks pretty easily. Okay, and if they don't Sucker Punch, the Dragon Pulse definitely doesn't KO me, so good. I get the KO in the Gambit, which is nice. I actually would have preferred to having Samurott in, so I could like flip turn or some other things, but close combat gonna take the KO into Gambit. I really am surprised to see Gambit as the last Pokemon though. I thought it was going to be like Basculegion or even Pelipper, but especially since they weren't sending Brain Dance, but you know what, we'll take it. They Dragon Pulse the Talonflame. I don't know why they're getting rid of Talonflame there, but okay. We don't want to give the Archaludon a boost, so we're going to go for close combat. We don't want to give them a stamina boost, so they take the close combat better, so we're going to go for Tailwind and we're going to go for close combat. They Protect, that's fine. I just want to make sure I never give them the stamina boost so I can Tailwind close combat to the Arch. And then, even if I don't KO with close combat, which... This is way stronger than Sneasel close combat, so I think it probably KOs, but I know it's Bold Archaludon. I still think close combat probably one-shots it. We'll find out. Maybe I should just Flare Blitz the Gambit and close combat the Arch. Actually, yeah, that's actually probably the better play, because even if King Gambit can't protect, an Arch can. Like, what's Gambit doing? Iron Heading for, like, what, 50% even if it crits? Yeah, it was probably better close combat to Arch, and yeah, I think that was a misplay that I made earlier, but you know what? We'll take it. We still pick up the victory against Arch. I do think close combat was better than Arch and Flare Blitz, but you know what? Still am taking the victory. So that is a 10 win streak with Heracross. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. So how was the team? Well, I think you could probably tell by the 10-game win streak, which I think was a good enough ending point to the video. Even though we got some very, very fast games with this team, I'm shocked that it went on the 10-win streak because I do think it can be complicated. Of course, we did get lucky in like a few of the games out there, but that is just how it plays sometimes. However, Heracross, pretty good, and I really liked the Bullet Seed option. Just having an extra way to hit the Basculegion, I think, is really impressive. The Rock Blast, of course, good in the Charizard. Close combat, that is just able to nuke some stuff, especially even the Chople Berry King Gambits out there. Ooh, it's a hard hitter. It's very strong indeed. So the only thing is the speed tier, of course, middling. So you have to figure out how to get the best speed advantage for it. But of course, when you're pairing it with really strong Pokemon, it's just generally good. Talonflame, even though it's not as good as it used to be, still pretty solid in general in this format, as well as like, of course, Sylveon, really strong. Glamor, of course, we've seen why it's powerful because of that. Toxic Spikes especially. And Aegis Slash was able to hit hard. Samurott was able to put in work. Yeah, I felt the team was really fun to try out. So if you would like to use it, you could try it out with this rental code on your screen here. And of course, you can check out the details of the recreation that I made down below the description, as well as the original creator. But otherwise, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.